In this video, I'll be going over the different sections of the designer and what they are for. Firstly, to get to the designer, we're going to want to create a design or edit a design. To get to the Create New Design page, you can either click on this Create Design button right here, or go to the Designs list and click on Add New Design. This will bring me to the designer. You'll see that the designer has a few different sections. These buttons on the top left corner are used to add elements to the canvas. So we can add boards, cakes, decorations, construction items, images, and templates. Templates are basically any saved groups of elements. For more information about these buttons and what they do, I'll make a separate video called How to Add Elements to Your Design. Just below these buttons is the Details panel, where you can name your design, allocate a category for your design, add notes to the design, add tags which you can use to filter designs from the designs list, and add an image for your design. Keep in mind that if you add an image here, it'll be displayed as the main thumbnail for this design instead of showing the actual design as a thumbnail image. Below the Details panel, you'll see a Servings panel. This panel will display a summary of the number of servings you have in the design. This information is calculated automatically based on the cakes you add to the canvas, and they are determined by whatever serving sizes you have specified in your pricing settings. I'll go more into detail with this in another video called How to Work with Serving Sizes in Cakenote. In the middle of the screen, you'll see the actual canvas where you can create your design. The small icons around the canvas are tools that you can use to interact with elements on the design. The buttons on the left and top sides change the way the elements are displayed on the canvas. This area down the bottom has filters that you can use to show and hide elements by type. For example, I'm going to go ahead and add a cake to the canvas. And then I'm going to add a decoration. Now, since I have a cake type and a decoration type, I can use filters to hide cakes or hide decorations. These purple buttons to the right allow you to change certain properties of each element. I'll cover these tools in a separate video called How to Use the Canvas Tools. On the top right, you'll see another set of buttons which are used to interact with boards and cake elements on the canvas. I'll also cover these in a separate video called How to Modify Boards and Cakes in a Design. Just below these buttons, we have the Layers panel. This panel lists all the different elements that are currently on the canvas, and it also allows you to change elements' name, description, and sometimes price. You can edit these details by clicking on this button right here. Cake elements also have this extra icon here that will show you the diagram of the flavor of the cake. To use this button, you must first set a flavor on this cake. It's also important to note that the order of how elements are displayed on the canvas, meaning what is in front of what, is also determined by what is on top of what on the Layers panel. For example, right now the dove is on top of the round cake, so when I move the dove over the cake, it's going to be on top of it. If we drag this down below the cake, it will go below the cake here. Below the Layers panel, there are a bunch of other panels that are specific to the entire design rather than to a single element. I'll cover these in another video called How to Add Extra Charges and Costs to Designs and Orders. Below these panels, we have our design summary, which basically displays the pricing and costing information related to this entire design. These numbers will automatically change depending on what you add onto the canvas from the library. If we scroll down further, you'll see two more panels, the Cakes panel and the Recipes panel. The Cakes panel will list any cakes that you have added to the canvas, as well as allow you to select a flavor for each cake right from here. Of course, you can also add flavors to a cake via the Flavor tool, but this is a nice and easy way to simply add a flavor to a cake. It will also show you a small thumbnail of the flavor here. The Recipes panel will list any recipes that are involved based on the flavors we've selected for each cake. It will also show you how much of that particular recipe you need to bake this cake. So that pretty much wraps up this video for an overview of the designer. To go more into detail on specific parts that I've mentioned here, please take a look at the other tutorials for each section. Thank you for watching.